We meet in the foothills of Paarl as the Pride of George travel from the Southern Cape to take on one of the great schools of South African rugby, Paarl Gimnasium. If you were to open a picture book and look for an image of a perfect day, it would be what we are witnessing in Paarl today. Not a breath of wind, and the cold, cruel clutches of winter are slowly abating. The warmth of summer is coming through. As you can see, some t-shirts being worn out there. We're not quite at the max temperature, but it is warm, and no jackets out there this afternoon. And a wonderful energy in the crowd. It is the derby, well, not a derby, but the Southern Cape clash. And what makes this unique is that it's co-head and that the girls' sports get involved as well. The last match, Outeniqua won. Interesting match, in fact. Paarl Gim had a penalty in front of the uprights on the last play, decided to try and win it, and didn't go as they had hoped, and Outeniqua came away with the win. It's been very competitive over the past 10 years, and the teams, both of them, are very strong. Many of them having representatives recently in the Craven Week. Starting with Paarl Gim. Tiaan Swanepoel is a very good athletic attacking player. Stravino Jacobs, number 11, really good player. Strong, physical, fast. Charles Janssen has moved from fly-off, and it's a nice moment for Yuri Mathieu to prove himself, having come up from the seconds. And Dean Nieuwoud, he's the captain, very physical player, who's done excellently at the recent Craven Week. And on the bench for them, Henry Siebert is recovering from a finger injury, but should be coming on. Outeniqua, Ridge Gaffley, very attacking player. Matthew Thorne, very skillful. Scavot, number 12, he normally plays at 9, so a slight change in position for him. Both the Locks Ferreira and Pretorius are pretty handy. Bram van Hastings, a real bowling ball of a player, and Brian Williams on the bench for them is a player to look out for. I'm joined in the booth this afternoon by a man with what I would call unrivaled knowledge of schoolboy rugby in South Africa. Gareth Wright, form goes out the window. It's been a better season for Paarl Gim. What can we expect out there today?
Yeah, thanks, Anton. Well, of course, many of these young men represented their respective Craven Week sides, and it'll be one at the breakdown. Van Hastings up against the captain, Nieuwoud. That'll be a crackerjack of a contest. And then you touched on Stravino Jacobs, of course, recently been selected for that SA school side. So, perfect day for running rugby. If you can get the ball into space, you'd expect the side who has the better skill sets to come away with a victory. Of course, Paarl Gimnasium will have one eye on their massive Interschools derby in 2 weeks' time. That could be their Achilles heel. However, don't read too much into the form of, as you mentioned, Outeniqua, because their losses have been by less than 10 points, bar one or two of the fixtures. So I think we're in for a pulsating 70 minutes of schoolboy rugby, and running rugby will certainly win the day.
Well, Gareth, touching on the past results, you would have seen up there, Paarl Gim's only loss in the last 10 matches has been against Paul Roos, which has been described as a once-in-a-generation team, and most of their matches have been quite lopsided. Outeniqua, looking at their last 5 results, as Gareth said, they haven't suffered heavy losses, and they will be buoyed by that most recent demolition of Langehoven Gym. Officiating today is the cousin of Stormers player Craig Barry. He is Nathan Barry, and has been quite busy this season. A lot of officiating, and Paarl Gim, as we mentioned, they only lost against Roos, and well, look at the differentials there. There's some big scores, and Gareth, they've got some pretty dangerous players there.
Yeah, they do, and of course those results are testament to what Peter Rousseau and Helmut Lehrmann have done as a coaching group down here in the Paarl. Of course, David Kellerman is their one man, their talisman in the back line, who is not involved today. He's involved with the SA under 18 sevens in Algeria, so it'll be yet to be seen how he will be missed. However, you feel that the men stepping into the breach in De Toy and Janssen could fit in admirably and do the job with aplomb.
And so, the 8th Premier Schools match takes place. Paarl Gimnasium playing from left to right. Begin the match. Strong take immediately. And contact being used. Outeniqua, they played against Paarl boys earlier in the season at home. They did lose, but well versed against the sides from the Cape. Opportunity for Jim to run it in. Zinedine Robinson makes the first hit. He would have been born 2 years after Zinedine Zidane's success in the '98 World Cup.
Well, a penalty going the way of Paarl Gimnasium early on. Jaco Gerber not rolling away quick enough, but poor decision-making from Darren Fortuin. Paarl Gimnasium left 4 in the backfield from the restart. You've got to try to put that ball into space, run it up, that the wingers are close. That will give you kick space. And that is a super effort from Janssen, finding touch on the 5-meter line. Putting the ball through the hands, the self-same Janssen taking it into contact and then just flopping over it and not rolling away quick enough was Gerber, the transgressor.
Good attacking opportunity for Jim. The maul set up. 4 meters out they are. Hanekom at the back, not with his hands on the ball. Marching. They go down. Bobby Alexander marshalling his troops. Works it out. Siebert. Outeniqua defense holding up. Alexander. Bierkus. Worked out now. Mattia. Just scraggled short. Worked out by Alexander. Janssen through the hands. Jacobs. He's done it.
Well, what a start from the home side, Khamis. The attacking shape of 9 inside the 22 paid dividends. As they look to roll it over from close quarters, they then got the pack around, going the same side, spun through the hands, and the recipient on the end of it was the SA Schools Flyers, Stravino Jacobs. And he's in for the opening score. Just too many numbers out wide. The catch-up defender not getting there in time, and Jacobs is in for his 5-pointer. Well, immediate concerns for that Outeniqua coaching staff. Aubrey Minnie, of course, is in charge, and his son is representing Outeniqua in the halfback position. Now, perfect conditions for goal kicking this afternoon. Can the inside centre and Janssen add the extras?
And from the shadow of the stands, Charles Janssen puts it over. Brilliant kick.
Well, he's been prominent in the opening stages as Carl Janssen. Been involved heavily with the touch finder. And that man, Stravino Jacobs, was the recipient of some neat interpassing. And his finishing was something to behold.
So now, Outeniqua, drop kick. 3 minutes into this match. A try scorer takes it well, puts on his running boots. Bit of a high arm on him. Play allowed to continue and moved beautifully through the hands by Jim. Goes down with Van Niekerk. Bobby Alexander, a man nicknamed Bobby Child, feeds it out to the captain, Nieuwoud. Nieuwoud, the son of singer Hugo Nieuwoud. It's Mattia. Oh, lovely juggle and hold by Bierkus.
Well, he's penalised Eldon lots for a high tackle as referee Nathan Barry. And again, it's copy and paste from Paarl Gim. They'll find the sanctity of the touchline and they'll look to set the rolling more. It's just how close to that 5-meter line Janssen can get the penalty, and he's worked his magic again with another super kick. It really does sap the energy of the forwards if you can get it close to that 5-meter line. And just a lazy arm around the neck of the Paarl Gym player by lots. You can see Dean Nivert at scrum off. They're going to set this maul and try to rumble it over from close quarters. 12 fellas, 1.93 the average for Paarl Gym, 1.91 the average for Outeniqua.
And using their height, they give it to Bjerkes. Another test for the Outeniqua defense. It is moving like a train, and they're over.
Well, try number 2 for Khamis. And they've started with a hiss and a roar, have those in maroon, green and yellow. As Hanekom van Eden has got in for their second try. Again from a rolling maul. Pinpoint throw. Good work in the line out from Bjerkes, the Cravenweek representative. And then steamrolled over the opposition. And it is Van Eden Hanekom, the man who's accredited with the 5-pointer. Alarm bells now starting to ring for Outeniqua. They've started really badly. They've restarted twice. They've kicked the ball away on 2 occasions, and they've found themselves under the uprights as Charles Jansen will look to add the extras.
Jansen with an easier version of his previous successful kick. Puts it to boot, but this time doesn't meet his mark.
Good work in the set piece. Good work by Nivert. They got all 8 moving forward, and it just obliterated those in black jumpers ahead of them.
The restart from Darren Fortain. Deep. Outeniqua have had just about no possession in this match. Pierre Siebert takes contact. Alexander. Mattia breaks the defender. He's into space. Lets it go. Lovely take from Tiaan Swanepoel. He's a very good athlete, is Swanepoel. And lovely line for Etzebeth. He is a distant cousin of Irvin Etzebeth. Bit of a mix-up. Gaffley, who performed brilliantly at the recent Craven Week, in the mix. But Jim once again in possession. Siebert.
Leave it on 7.
Mattia sells the dummy into space. What an offload. Wilson. Once again, Alexander. Nivert. Hugely exciting play from Jim. Alexander works it out quickly. Contact taken. The 8th man, Wilson, let out the pass. But the knock on Academic as will be pulled back for the penalty.
Wow, what a start from Paarl Gym. The handling has been something to behold. They're just spinning it through the hands. Outeniqua missing first-time tackles, slipping it off, but the offloading and contact from the home side is really something to behold as Jansen finds a touch again. And Outeniqua need to take a breath, recover themselves, because at the moment they're just defending phase after phase, wave after wave, and they find themselves again on their own 5-meter line.
Once again, Bjerkes takes it. They're only more pushed back by Outeniqua. Now, however, making forward ground. Hanekom puts his head down. Doesn't find grounding. Alexander sends it blind and coming out too quickly with Jacobs. Now change of direction to the big men. An absolute wall of forwards. Nivert. Hanekom slightly isolated, pushed back by his opposite man, Lotz.
Near.
Now Wilson. Gone blind, grounding, not good there. Outeniqua did well to hold up.
No advantage. No advantage.
Well, penalty's gone the way again for Paarl Gim for a late sack at line-out time. And it's much of the same again. There's another hard tackle coming in from Andre Pretorius this time.
As has been habit, Dierkes takes Alexander. Mattia, lovely inside line. Trevino Jacobs just off short. Alexander, basketball style. Mattia changes direction. Muscles his way a few extra meters. Now firing out, juggle. Good hands. Swanepoel. Alexander. Verleiden. Worked out, put down. And that is a lifeline for the George team.
Well, just have a look at the body language of those from Outeniqua. They look deflated, and it's only been just a little over 10 minutes in this fixture. The one area that Paarl Gim will be cognizant of is the fact that they may get guilty in just holding on to the ball when there's a man in a better position, as the knock-on came in from Yuri Mattia. Now, Outeniqua have had precious little of the ball. They need to keep ball in hand here. Have a run at this Khami's side.
Steady.
And a shell-shocked, possession-starved Outeniqua. Work it out to 14. He puts it on the corrugated iron.
Well, I just think that's a wrong option. You've been under the cosh for just under 12 minutes. You've kicked the ball into the touchline and into the grandstand, and now you have to defend again. They're making tackle after tackle.
This time mixing it up, giving to Siebert.
Some more now, some more!
And wow, look at that stat. 33 to 3 tackles made. And just carries on going against him.
And another penalty conceded. That just are their own worst enemies at the moment. There you see Aubrey Mini in the middle.
It's a late sack, number 8, late sack.
Another late sack, 5 penalties conceded. You saw the tackle stat, 32 to 3.
Hy's in. Kom ons speel hom, hy's in.
And
Hy speel hom.
Outeniqua are their own worst enemies at the moment. It's a late sack coming in from the side, clear and obvious. And it's handed Khami's another opportunity to set them all and get it going.
So more set up, this time from Etzebeth. His Western Province Academy week. Last week, Alexander getting up the horse. Wow. Just the inexorable pressure of Paarl Gim.
Number 5. Side entry.
Well, penalty try. Another late sack. And has come in, and this time it is from Peter Ferreira. The maul going forward. And then you just see Outeniqua transgressing. And in the process, it is Ferreira who's got himself a yellow card. Their woes are compounded. Those who are in black. Side entry, late sack. And referee Nathan Berry's had enough. Of course, no conversion for a penalty try. And Khami's 19 points to the good.
14.
And, well, competitive from Outeniqua off the kickoff. And as Gareth was saying, hard times for them. Playing against a very attacking German now with one-man deficit.
Luister net, kan met jou communiceren, oké? Merk. Alle bal?
No.
Hulle met 1 uitval, ja. Alles in. Net 1 uitval asseblief. Yep.
Well, a great attacking opportunity now for Outeniqua. They've got the winger just trailing in behind their flank. They need to maneuver the ball somehow, use the width of the field, and try free up some space that they get a a one-on-one situation with fullback Matthew Thorne up against one of the Gimnasium backline players.
Side crouch. Bind. Sit. Steady, steady.
Minnie. Robinson. Lovely line. Thorne regains possession, lets it out. 14, 5 meters out. Could this be a glimmer of hope for Outeniqua? Minnie. Robinson. Van Hastings.
Well, that's that man, Dean Nibbot. Brilliant work at the breakdown. In over the ball in a flash, Nibbot was, and he has won the penalty for his side. But what a scything run coming in from Thorne. Criminally, 14 didn't let the ball go as Gimmies alleviated some pressure. Van Hastings picked a short line, and then look at the work by Nibbot. He's on his feet, he's got all the rights. He hasn't been cleaned out effectively, and he's won his side a penalty.
And back to the line out it goes. More set up immediately. Push forward 5 meters. Alexander. Mattia. Janssen. Totoy. Swanepoel. Shrugs off 14. This pass goes a mix, and now stabbing counter run from Otto. Van Hastings. Minnie. Robinson. Minnie once again. Robinson reaches for it and fires it out. It's been stolen. Bjerkes. Alexander puts it to boot, and well taken by Lotz. Jonathan Joseph, as a member of the school choir, takes contact. Robinson. Gaffley. Gaffley does some dancing into space and into Jacobs. Quite a size differential between those two men.
Oh, Gaffley's just been absolutely smashed by Stravino Jacobs. Yeah, the dancing feet. He jumped around Jovan Becker and then got on the outside. No, he should have let it go. And oh, he just got smashed. It's a hard tackle from Stravino Jacobs. And unfortunately, the officials have missed that one. Nice blind side to work for the Outeniqua side. If they can get the right shoulder through Yaku Garba, they can employ that 8-9 down that blind side. Stravino Jacobs is set rather far back. It's just whether they get the ascendancy at scrum time.
Side crouch. Bind. Sit. Steady, steady.
So much of the 25% of possession has come in the past 5 minutes. Robinson feeds it inside to 14.
Kom weg, 9.
Very physical player he is, and also a good cricketer.
Uit 9, uit 9. Terug.
So Lotz supporting the contact, but Jim up for it. Now Minnie. Robinson changes direction. 14. How often will we see him being used today? He had to wait a while for the cavalry to arrive.
Well, again, it's the captain, Nibbot, leading from the front. He just gets himself into such a strong position. He's got a low center of gravity. They decided to change direction. 14 not working hard enough on the ground. And look at the work by Nibbot. As again, it's Outeniqua who find themselves in their own half of the field. Well, 7 from 7, 0 from 0. That tells a telling tale in itself.
Hanekom, stunning line out throw. Alexander, Mattia, Janssen, Toy, and worked it out. He's gonna, I think he's dropped it. No brace for Jacobs. His smile says otherwise.
Oh, well worked. Just carrying the ball in the wrong hands, Trevino Jacobs. He needed to shift it to the left hand as he went to place the ball. Clearly lost it in front of the line. Just a bit of technical work needed by the SS Schools left winger. But some neat interpassing between the backs and Paarl Gym again finding themselves in a favourable position.
Sit, steady.
Outeniqua do well on the push, remembering they've had to make arrangements with one man off. Mini went to kick it himself, but the fence was through and he's done superbly. Now someone will have to come to his place. Robertson works it back, 14, puts it to his right boot, and for a moment relieves pressure.
Anton, they need to adjust their tactic. They cannot kick off the man who's in the pocket. Well, the counter came in and hence Mini being charged down. They need to employ contestable kicks, give themselves a 50-50 opportunity, or alternatively keep the ball in hand and kick off their players in the wider channels.
Van Eeren Hanekom, this is his first match since returning from injury. He broke his ankle in a practice before the Wildeclawe Festival earlier this year. Wilson.
Forward pass.
They're just gaping holes in that Outeniqua defence. They're not coming up together. They're not getting a shoulder connection. And hence, the players from the home side, Paarl Gimnasium, are getting their hands through the tackle. Well, there's the guilty culprit. Peter Ferreira represented the SWD side at the recent Craven Week down at Paarl Boys. And he's still got a little bit of time left in the sin bin.
Bind. Sit, steady.
Mini, 14, with time, puts in a big kick.
Paarl Gimnasium scholars breaking out into song, and why wouldn't you? Their side is playing some attractive running rugby. 19-0 to the good against this Outeniqua side, and they're throwing to the line out again.
Jean Burkus, the man they call Train, because he bumps off everyone, takes the ball, and penalty now.
Side injury.
Well, another penalty going the way of Outeniqua, and it's just so blatant in front of the referee. Lots is in from the side, right in front of Nathan Barry. He has no option but to award the penalty to Gimmies, and that'll certainly be a talking point at half-time as Janssen finds another telling touch finder. 9 penalties conceded from Outeniqua and nothing from the home side. Their discipline has been something to behold as we see the yellow card Ferreira make his way back onto the field.
It's a bit. Nieuwhout. Isn't he coming on quickly? Nieuwhout came to the school in grade 10 from Brackenfell. Now moving through the hands to Toy. Wrapped up by 14. Alexander. Hanekom. Now moving out. Janssen. He did well. Scraggled by Pretorius. Well, strong instructions coming from Nathan Barry rather. Sean Bierkus takes contact, chipped out.
Tackle! Hy laaste voete.
Some big young men waiting for it. Jovan Becker came to the school last year. Grade 11 now through the hands. Swanepoel steps, beats the second defender. He's over.
Try number 4 for James, as it is Tian Swanepoel who's put in a jinking run and got in for his 5-pointer. But look at the work done by Prabin Verleerden. An unsung hero, putting it through the hands out the back door, and then the step on the inside from Swanepoel is just too much for the cross-cover defense from Outeniqua. Well, they're interesting. That Janssen, he takes the ball very far back, close to the uprights. I just feel he needs to go about 5 or so meters closer. I know he gives himself a better angle. However, it is quite a lot to ask for the goal kicker the further back you go.
Joel Janssen, top scorer the Western Province Academy Week. To take his stats up to 66%. And through the center it goes.
Spun through the hands, good work from forwards and backs alike, and then Swanepoel stepping off that right. Too much pace, too much power, and he's in for their 4th try of the afternoon.
Fortain restarts, and no, he hasn't overcooked it.
A great restart from Fortain. And a hang time, it allowed his chasers to get there. However, they just found themselves bundled over the touchline.
Bierkus, Alexander, Wilson. Now Mattia just went over the top of Otto. Taking it quickly, have Outeniqua. But Nathan Barry is having none of it.
Well, I don't see the problem there. He's taken a quick throw. It hasn't touched any other member. Nothing wrong with that. Unless his foot is on the inside. Yeah, no, fair enough. Good call by the linesman. It was about 3 meters inside the touchline.
It's been stolen by Jim. Alexander, Hanekom still going. Call him Chedemalt. Goes through the hands, over the top to Troy. Stunning stuff. The through the legs pass.
Well, the longer this first half has dragged on, the more prominent a guy like John Wilson has come to the fore. His cricketing skills have really shone through with those basketball passes over the top. There's another one. Good cross-cover tackle coming in from Darren Fortain. And it is Tian Swanepoel who got a bump on the head for his efforts.
So crouch, bind, sit, steady, steady. 45. Kom ons kry 'n stability na die bal voor die bal in kom asseblief. Dankie. Beide kante.
Kom boys,
Side crouch.
Lord.
Bind. Sit. Steady.
Come on!
The Outeniqua scrum has largely been holding up against the strong gym pack. They give it to Skabot. As we mentioned, he normally plays at 9. Now change of possession. And this is going to be tricky for Outeniqua.
Well, it's the middle of the field. Both sides to attack for Paarl Gimnasium. Just the hands letting Outeniqua down. Well, they look a beleaguered bunch to those in black. And here we see handing errors. 5 by Paarl Gimnasium to the solitary one of Outeniqua. But it's because they've had the lion's share of possession.
Worked out Mattia. Ball goes upwards and forwards. So, an opportunity for Outeniqua to try to get themselves out of trouble. On the rare occasions that they've had attacking play, they've looked very good. I suspect Fortuin will put it to his boot, but a part of me wishes they would run it.
Hard line run by the outside centre, the toy. Just looking for the runner in Alexander. And his hands pin him down at the critical moment.
Bind. Sit. Steady.
And I can tell you there's going to be some men rushing up at 14. Well, no. Quite pedestrian, in fact, the defence. And without too much pressure, he sends it right into the centre of the crowd. And untiring energy from these youngsters.
They're trying to buoy their side on, but unfortunately they just can't seem to get themselves into the game.
It's a bit. Jacobs. Alexander. Mattia. I've been impressed by Yuri Mattia. It's a bit. Alexander, deft backhand pass. Verleiden, his pass as well. Wilson. Wilson, Bullen cricketer and a scratch golfer, so a man of many talents. Turned over. Still in field. Skabot. Mini.
Backwards, play on.
Knocked backwards in the tackle, and Gaffley doing some running. Now, an opportunity for Outeniqua. Thorn. This pass doesn't go to hand, and once again, Gaffley does some dancing and slips eventually.
Well, it's incredibly enthusiastic play by Gaffley. Thorn just needed to let the ball do the work. He had a man on the outside, criminally hung on to it. Look at the stepping from Gaffley. Thorn running with the ball in one hand. He just needed to let it go. And then he threw the sunny ball out the back of the hand. And it's gone awry, and so is another opportunity for Outeniqua. Well, as we see one of the Outeniqua players getting attention.
Yeah, right.
Aubrey Mini needs to galvanise his charges at half-time. They need to get their hands on some possession. They just need to look after the ball. At the moment, every time they find themselves in a set phase, it's in their own half, and they're having to clear their own lines. And it's Eldon Lotz who's receiving some attention.
Well, Alden Lotz, he was Eastern Province Craven Week last year, and he's come to Outeniqua for his final year, and of course was Southwestern District's Craven Week this year. Earlier in the season, he had a #1 haircut, so looks a bit more civil this time. And he is exiting the field as Chad Kutsia comes onto the field. And he's going to have to get involved to try and interrupt this attack.
Use it.
The rolling ball set up. There's a bit of a mix-up. And Nathan Barry, is he going to allow one more scrum? Yeah.
Well, referee Barry was telling Khamis to use it, They didn't oblige. And they call this the lipstick. They just stand off. And he's telling Paarl Gim to use it, and they haven't obliged. And if Aubrey Mooney just whacks us into touch, it'll be half-time.
Mooney feeds. And, yeah, whacks it into touch. And that is half-time. It has been all Paarl Gim and Outeniqua. Somewhat reeling, somewhat shell-shocked, but on the rare occasions that they've had attacking play have looked dangerous, and particularly Ridge Gaffley has been impressive with his stepping. One hopes they'll have more of that in the second half. And at halftime, and Paarl Gim, the home team, leads Outeniqua 26 points to 0.